What's up, everyone? So, I started playing around on this website, familysearch.org, building a family tree. I've tried on a couple other websites as well, but this one, holy smokes, did I hit the jackpot on some things here. So, we're gonna start it, little old me, and then we will slowly get into the good stuff, and then by the end, it'll be just like crazy revelation after crazy revelation. Like, I've been playing with this for on and off for a couple days now, and it is just blowing me away. So here's me, parents, grandparents, great grandparents. I don't know anything on my dad's side. All of this is going to be on my mom's side of the family. But we start cruising back through my mom's side of the family, and I've followed a lot of these branches off. And at anywhere, there's multiple branches that you can take and follow. And yeah, a lot of them took me back pretty far, but a lot of them were dead ends. And I really wanted to find the oldest relative I could possibly find on here. Through a lot of searching and then deleting or going back on dead ends and following other leads and then getting lost on another dead end and coming back and following another lead, I eventually got really far back. So my family's line has gone back to where are we at here? The Griffins, the Hastings, the Huntingtons, and we get to the first really interesting one right here. We are at David the First, King of Scots, and we follow his line of. Oh, and then actually, yeah, if we check out right here at this branch, his parents, David the First, King of Scots' parents, Margaret of Wessex, she ends up being the where my line begins, going back to all of the kings of England that I'm related to, and then on his dad's side is all of the kings of Scotland, Ireland, uh, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. Where else? There was some. Oh, freaking Egypt. And I eventually traced this all the way back to like pre-flood. Just wait for it; it gets crazy. So anyway, let's keep cruising here. We've got some pretty famous kings of England here. We've got Edmund Ironside, Ethelred the Unready, Edgar the Peaceful, Edmund the Magnificent, Edward, Alfred the Great, Ethelwulf, Egbert. I watched a history documentary on this guy and didn't even know I was related to him. It was freaking crazy. And then let's come back over to the other side. We start getting into some Viking ancestors over here. This is right in the ancestor time. Let's look at this guy. What does this guy say? King oh god, I cannot pronounce that. We're gonna say King Haraldson from born and died in Norway. Let's see if they got any extra. Oh yeah, here we go. Sigurd was the son of Harald the First, King of Norway. Got a lot of genetic history on him here. But yeah, that's going to be a common thing we're going to find into here, that I am related to a whole lot of kings and queens. It's crazy. I think this right here is a good start to my Irish heritage. This marriage right here. Let's check this guy out. King Lily. Lily? I have no clue. I'm gonna butcher pronunciations throughout this. Sorry, guys. Definitely a king of Ireland, and his wife over here was also from Ireland, and I believe this is like a competing line of kings. Yep. So she was the daughter of a king, King Sir Brawl Dunlange. Oh God, I'm gonna suck at these pronouncing these. And on the other side, we have, oh, just another guy. Doesn't look like he was a king. Oh, no, I take that back. He was a king. King of Leinster. So, competing lines of Irish kings here. We go over here. We're still looking at more famous kings. This guy was born in Germany but died in the Netherlands. Halfdan Haraldsson, I think I've heard of this guy in history. Born in Germany, died in the Netherlands. He was a king. Leading person among the Danes and first known Scandinavian to enter Frankish service. Let's see, over here on the English king side, we're getting into the really old ones now. They're just the kings of Wessex. And that line actually ends pretty quick here when I scroll up. It's going to dead end right there with Cedric of the West Saxons. But my line of Irish royalty goes back much further. So let's go ahead and follow that for a while. And it'll parallel along with the Denmark, Norway, Sweden royalty families. They all kind of intersect. Oh, and right here, this is a really cool place I just noticed. This is where I noticed Hilderic of the Vandals. I was like, the Vandals? Like, the Vandals from... Not the band, the Vandals. LOL. No, like the Vandals that eventually traveled all across Europe for looking a home and then eventually made it to North Africa and started the kingdom of... what was it called? Oh, the Romans hated them. We must end the... Oh, God, what were their names? Shoot, I can't remember their names. It's slipping my mind right now. But anyway, Rome absolutely hated them. They were the other half of the Punic Wars. So I started studying this Vandal line, and it goes back, and there's some emperors. Emperors of Rome here. We have Constantine II, Constantine I. We have Theodosius, Flavio Julio. This is Constantine I right here, Constantine the Great. Julius Flavius. We have Commodus and Marcus Aurelius. So that was pretty interesting. And right around that same time, we're starting to get to the short end of the stick on my Viking lines. But these are still long lines of kings and queens. Let's see, who's this guy? Oh, and it's not even a language I can read. That happens sometimes on here. And let's see, who's this guy? Sigurd von Saxon. He was a king of the Saxons. Oh, and we've got some German royalty that intermarries with them. And let's see, we're already back in, where the heck are we? We're in BC right now. Oh, I think that's a typo right there. I think that's supposed to say 190 BC. Let's look at the next guy. Goth Tyronson. I know this Eomanhana is Germany. Oh yeah, and that's another interesting thing that I figured out is that at a certain point my Viking ancestry was German. Before that, they went north from Germany and started becoming kings and Vikings and chieftains and then kings of the Viking era, and then started going to Ireland and Great Britain. But anyway, yep, we get to the end of the Vikings here with Anar in 948. I think that's supposed to say BC. Yep, 948 BC. So pretty far back, but not near as far back as this Irish king line. So let's go back down a bit and show where this kind of branches off from. Okay, so here's my English kings, here's my Roman emperors, and then over here on this side, over here is my Viking kings. But we are gonna follow this. We're gonna follow this Irish line because it goes back the oldest and gets really interesting. So let's see, where are we right here? Right here, we are at 90 BC, just after the turn of the century. Who's this guy? Sinmekrosen. King Sinmekrosen of Dalriatat. Let's see if he's got any notes about him. Nope, no interesting notes about him. But let's keep going back. This guy's got a photo. That means he's got to be kind of famous. Let's look at him. King Forga Mac Firidik born in Ireland 340 BC, died in 325 BC. And Scotland, I noticed a lot of these guys will be born in Scotland, die in Ireland, or born in Ireland and die in Scotland, or England. Happens quite a bit. They like to travel back in these days. Let's check this guy out. Anytime they got a photo on here, or a painting or whatever on them, you know they're fairly famous. A lot of times when they have a crest, a family crest, you know they were some kind of royalty. This guy was the King of Ireland, 77th High King of Ireland. Killed his predecessor and his father's killer. Interesting. Guy sounds like a beast. What was his name again? King Conla. I'm not even going to try with the rest of that. Alright, let's keep cruising up this thing here. Because at a certain point, it is going to get to pretty much prehistory, which I have no idea how they put this together when it gets to prehistory, but it's going to get interesting. Where's old Queen Scotta? I think there she is. So right here, something really interesting happens. This is Scotta Scythia. She is an Egyptian princess born 1764 BC in Egypt and died and was buried in Ireland. This is the famous Egyptian queen of Ireland. And she goes on to be the I don't know what you call it, the great grandmother many times over of a long line of Irish kings. So when we get to her, oh yeah, and then when I check out her husband's line, which is kind of interesting as well, so he was from Spain, and when you start following his line back, these look like Irish names, but I think more technically what you would call them would be Celtic, original Celtic, like mid-Europe Celtic, not Irish per se. This is pre-Irish. This is Celtic. And this guy's history, he's got kings and queens going back in his line. See, this was a king of Libya in 1900 BC. And and if I keep following, I remember I followed this line back before. If I keep following this line back, it pretty much goes back to the Scythian horse lord kings when I trace it far back enough. Let's go a few more. And also, while we're doing this, if you look on the right side here, we're starting to see a lot of pharaohs. Here, let's go back so you can take a look where we started here. So here's the Egyptian princess that became a queen in Ireland, or the mother of kings and queens of Ireland. And then right here we have our Egyptian line, and right here we have our Scythian line taken off. So we'll have Egyptian on the right, Scythian on the left. Right here we've got this guy was the second pharaoh of what dynasty? Second pharaoh of the 24th dynasty, Bakan Ranef. Let's keep cruising. Here we go. We've got another pharaoh. Sixth pharaoh of the 22nd dynasty. And as we'll keep pulling the Scythian line back as I follow the Egyptian line back. And this kind of shows you guys how I use this too. A lot of it's just click and following the links. It's actually really easy to use. I'm super digging this site. And we've gone pretty far back in the Scythian line. Let's just check this dude out and see who he was. Of course, he was a king of Scythia, about 2,100, died in 2,150 BC. Let's see if they've got any notes on him. They do have a life. There is a lot there. Looks like talks a lot about Phoenicia, which is the modern day Levant. Yeah, we're not going to read all of that. But we keep following it back. We've got another pharaoh right here. Third pharaoh of what? Third pharaoh of the 21st kingdom, or 21st dynasty. I might give up on that Scythian line here in a second because I know it doesn't go back near as far as the Egyptian line does, but we'll keep following it back for a minute. Oh, now we're starting to get to some fun names in the Egyptian. We've got Ramses X, Ramses III. That means Ramses II is going to be coming right up there. He is the most famous builder in Egypt. He built some amazing stuff there. There he is right there. Ramses II. Let's pull him up. Third ruler of the 19th dynasty, along with Thutmose III of the 18th dynasty, is often regarded as the greatest, most celebrated, and most powerful pharaoh of the New Kingdom. 15 military campaigns, all resulting in victories. This dude was a badass. A lot of these battles you can watch like history documentaries on. This dude was, he was the epitome of a pharaoh. But we are not to the top of the screen yet, so let's keep cruising. Oh, and I think right here is where this line ended, so we won't be following that Scythian line anymore. But let's check this guy out and just see what where it originated. It originated near the Black Sea, land of Magog. Ancient Greeks, second of seven sons. He's from the book of Ezekiel. Come from Akkadian, the land of Gog. Progenitor of the Scythians, people north of the Black Sea. Scythians ended up being a pretty powerful tribe. The Horse Lords of Scythia. There's a movie, kind of stupid movie about it, the Scythian. I wasn't super into it, but really interesting history. So we're going to keep cruising back in this Egyptian line here. Amenhotep III. Queen Tai. Amenhotep II. Thutmoses. Well, that's one of the Thutmoses. There's Thutmoses II. Thutmoses I. Which is weird because we have a Thutmose I over here and a Thutmose I over here. I'm not sure what the difference is right here. Maybe this last name is differentiating between different ones. Maybe I think this guy was actually the pharaoh here. Let's check it out. It doesn't say much. Alright, let's look at the other one. What does it say? Yeah, I believe this guy right here was the Thutmose I that you're going to hear about in history class or whatever. But we are not done with our journey. We're going to, from his wife, we're going to keep following the line back. Sensuret. Amenemhat. Sankara. Which I do believe there is a, if not a pyramid, there's at least some kind of a mastaba or something like for this guy in Egypt. I remember hearing something about. But trust me, it is. Oh yeah, and I forgot there was a branch over here on this line where we're going to see this twice. So here, this is Noah. Like Noah from the Bible, I believe. And his great-grandfather Enoch. But we're going to see that over in this Egyptian line as well in a different place. Like right there, I think that is actual Enoch. And this Hebrew line over here, this is taking us back to Adam and Eve. I'm not super religious, and you know, I not how much weight I want to give to that, but it says I'm related to Adam and Eve. We keep following this line back though, and we're gonna see some real fun stuff. Alright, here we go. This is the Old Kingdom. King, I think this is this Menkaure? No, not yet. We're not quite there. There he is. There's Menkaure. So these are, if you're familiar with the three main pyramids of Giza, the three biggest pyramids in Giza, they're the Menkaure, the Khafre, and the Khufu. And of course, because they're all related, I'm related to all of them. And old King Khufu here, this is what's what's traditionally accepted as the builder, or his name is Khufu or Cheops. And he was the second pharaoh of the fourth dynasty in the first half of the Old Kingdom of Egypt. This is the dude that supposedly built the Grand Pyramid of Giza, if you follow the traditional line of archaeology. I kind of wonder if maybe they inherited these things and he renamed it after himself, but you know, who knows? We don't know. Sneferu, there's also Sneferu's pyramid in Egypt. We keep coming back. Dozier, he's also got a pyramid in Egypt. I believe the Dozier pyramid, the step pyramid of Dozier, I believe is what they consider the first true pyramid, or the oldest pyramid in Egypt. Death in 2628 BC. We are pretty far back there, folks. We're 4,500 years in history right now in my family line. Narmer. Narmer was the first, what they consider the first real pharaoh of Egypt. He united Upper and Lower Egypt, and there's a famous plate that they found from this guy called the Narmer plate. I'd learned about it in art history class, weird enough. Pretty interesting guy, and a really interesting plate to look at. It looks like it's got dinosaurs on it, to tell you the truth. It's crazy. I believe this guy is the son of the Scorpion King, or maybe grandson of the Scorpion King. And I think this is the actual Scorpion King right here. Let's pull him up and see what it says. Scorpion the First. Oh, no more information on it. We'd have to Google that and check that out. But I do believe that is what's traditionally known as the Scorpion King. Alright, so we have this guy right here, Nimrod ben Cush. This is the biblical Nimrod that you read about. And let me pull that up real quick. Biblical Nimrod. It says Nimrod was a biblical figure mentioned in the book of Genesis and the book of Chronicles, the son of Cush, and thus the great-grandson of Noah. Which I tried to follow this up to see, and it would not let me go any further on his line. Looks like his wife's line does go up a little bit further. Oh, hey, look, there's Noah right there. Although that's on his wife's side, not his side. You know, like I said, this, and then it doesn't let you go any further than that. You know, we're getting 5,000 years back, or something like that in history right now. No, 4,500 years back in history. So these genetic lines, who knows how accurate they are? But according to what's on here, I'm related to Nimrod and Noah. And then actually, what's kind of interesting is if you go over here, you see a Noah here as well. And let's click on this guy. And this is saying this is the actual Noah. I think they're saying this is the actual Noah's Ark, Noah in the Bible. And then it just gives you a link to ancestry.com. And it looks like this is in Hebrew, maybe. Maybe a couple of different religions, or I mean, a couple different languages here. But yeah, this is Noah from Noah's Ark. And then you go back a little bit further, and we end up at the top of the chart. Can't go any further back, any further than this. I've tried a couple other ones, and this is where my family line dead ends. Not like I ever expected it to get this far, but we are at Enoch, who on here is saying is the grandfather of Noah. If you Google it, it says he's the great-great-grandfather of Noah. There's a hidden book in the Bible called the Book of Enoch that they removed in, like, I think the 1400s or something like that. Actually, let me Google that while we're talking. When was the Book of Enoch removed from the Bible? It says in the 4th century. It says it was never actually a part of the Bible, but it was in a collection with the biblical scrolls, and in the 4th century they decided not to include it in the actual Bible. But anyway, so it's been one heck of a journey. We'll scroll all the way back down so you guys can see how long this actually was. Sons and daughters and on for thousands of years. I had no idea when I started this journey that I would be able to trace back one of my ancestors to 5,000 years old. Well, how old was it? Let's see, when was Noah again? Noah was, this says 2100 BC. I thought I had, oh no, wait. Birth, here we go. This says 3058 BC. So theoretically 5,000 years is what we're talking about here. That I was just able to trace back one of my genetic lines. And yeah, right here in this part right here is where it got real interesting. We had the English kings over here. We had the Irish kings right here. We had some, I think this was some Scots kings over here. We get into the Viking kings over here. I related to more kings that I could freaking count. I think there's, just from what I've clicked on, there's got to be 30 to 50. It's insane. And then we're almost back down to little old me. Right there. What a crazy trip, huh, guys?